You hate how you look on camera, you hate how you sound, and you don't know what to say. You feel like everybody is staring at you. You straight up don't want the attention. You don't want the smoke. No matter if you're an introvert or you're an extrovert, every time you film in public, these are the thoughts that are running in your mind. But here's a secret, these thoughts are not real. If you want to overcome the challenge of shooting in public, this video is for you. Come on, have a seat with me. Uncle Nick's got you. I'm gonna be extremely real with you. I grew up as a very, very shy kid. I didn't even know how to start a conversation. So I came from a very, very introverted place. Filming in public was like insanely impossible to me. But I was able to develop my personality, develop little tricks and tools in order to break out of my shell and get super comfortable with filming in public. And my hope for you in this video is to impart this knowledge and skills and mindset, which is the most important thing, onto you. Do you have to film videos in public? No, absolutely not. You can film it in a controlled location within the comfort of your home. But what I've noticed is if you can master filming in a very chaotic, loud, crazy environment, you can pretty much master filming in any situation. So in this video, we're not only going to cover the mindset when it comes to filming in public, but practical things like gear, where and when to film, avoiding security and getting kicked out of places, and how to get usable footage fast. But before any of that, we need to talk about the real reason why you avoid filming in public. It's all the negative thoughts that live inside your head, rent-free. You are the type of person who'd rather observe than to be observed. So the concept of filming in public might be terrifying for you. But if you don't have a problem with mindset and you want to skip to the practical tips, skip right here. I have a feeling whether you're introverted or extroverted, everybody deals with this to some degree. So I'd suggest watching this part of the video. Okay, here is the real reason why you avoid making content in the first place. Your brain is signaling to you that you are about to die, and I'm not even exaggerating. That's what it's telling you. Back in the caveman days, there was only two reasons why you would stand out amongst a crowd. Either you were the leader and you were leading the group, or you were being exiled and either being killed or sent out into the wilderness to fend for yourself. And those signals are still ruling our brains to this day. Even though embarrassment is not even real. Nobody cares. Most likely you're not gonna see these people ever again in your life. And if you're in a small town or a place where you do see these people every day, guess what? They're not the ones making content and they're not the ones benefiting from it. You are. So you might as well do it for yourself and not for them. Remind yourself why you even have the urge to pick up the camera in the first place. Like, who are you doing this for? Are you doing it to build your business? To build an income? Everybody knows you need marketing. You need to be in front of a camera when it comes to marketing your product. So the longer you avoid being in front of the camera, the worse you're off later on in the long run for your company. Unless you hire somebody to do it for you, of course. But the most powerful brands are the personal brands. Just look at Alex Hormozi, multi-million-dollar companies, and he's the face of his content every single day. Something to think about. Or are you doing this for your family? Are you doing this to build a lifestyle for yourself, or your significant other, or for your children, or for your cat? I know I am. I gotta buy my cat food somehow. Just look at some of the biggest family creators in the world. They get to make videos with their children and get to spend every day hanging out, doing cool things, activities, and don't have to worry about bills, don't have to worry about going to a job that they hate, that sucks this life out of them. They literally get to build a lifestyle around making content. No, at no point in history would anybody have such access to such a powerful tool as social media as of today. Or are you doing this to have real impact and change lives through whatever value that you have to offer? If you've been on this earth long enough, I'm sure you've built some sort of skill and something that you're good at or something that you can help people at. And that's why a lot of people want to get on content and social media anyways, to affect and change lives. So that's the influence in influencers. Or are you doing this for recognition? Like, be honest, and it's completely okay. Many people do things for many different reasons. Whatever your reason is, are you gonna let your dreams and goals die and not become reality just because you are afraid of what other people are saying or judging of you? In reality, it's not even real. I keep saying that, but embarrassment and judgment is not even real. It doesn't affect you. Just keep those thoughts in mind next time you're making content. Most people don't make content, so whenever people get to see it in public, it's actually really cool. Like, there's so many times where I've been filming and people will just come up to me and ask me, what am I doing? Are you a content creator? Can I be in your video? It's the coolest feeling ever. And you get to make somebody's day by being that person, to be an example. And who knows, by you making content, you might inspire other people to do the same thing. So own it. Be that person, be that influencer. Step into that identity of, I'm that person in front of the camera. I'm gonna be that person. And guess what? If you like it, cool. If you don't like it, also cool. A year from now, are you gonna be the person that says, I'll start content when? Because guess what? If you say that a year from now, you could have had an entire year of making content. So might as well just start now. Now, here is a practical mindset shift when it comes to getting out of your head and into your body and into the flow of things. Start small. Go to a park where there's not a lot of people people around. If you have to drive 2 towns over just to make this video, then do that. That way you know for sure you're not going to run into anybody that you know, if that's what you're worried about. Reset your nervous system. Take a deep breath. In and out. And just breathe. Just realize you're okay. Nothing bad is gonna happen to you. Also, it really helps if you're filming with somebody that you know. It's almost like that person acts as a reason to give you permission to film in public. You can kind of bounce and ping off of that. If somebody else is doing it with you, it makes it a whole lot easier. Also, one thing I like to do is start making conversations with people. Say hi, and like invite the judgment, invite the audience. Like you can just high five random people as they walk by. It gives you permission also to be comfortable talking in an extroverted space. Now here's a practical exercise that I want you to do. Once a day, I want you to take your phone and film yourself making a story on your Instagram and post it, and don't judge yourself for what you do. Don't be a perfectionist, just first take, just film it and post it. One, you actually get a piece of content that you can use, and you get out of your mindset and you start getting more comfortable being in front of the camera in an open public space. Also, if you feel uncomfortable, just get loose. Get out of your body and into your head. Sometimes if we're all so stuck in your head, you might get really stiff and quiet and introverted, but if you just expand your body, make weird facial expressions before you shoot, smile really big before you shoot, and then when you actually shoot, your default will be super normal, but it'll be super clean and clear energy. Now let's get into the real meat and potatoes of this video. How to execute in filming in public. But before we get into the how, we have to get into the where. Because where you choose to film these videos can either mean a super great video or ruin your entire shoot day. Now, in this hall, the conditions are pretty controlled. I'm allowed to film here and it's great lighting, but that's not always gonna be the case for you. But here's a quick practical checklist on what to look out for when shooting your next video. Number 1, lighting first. There's nothing worse than shooting in an area where your face is dark and we can't even see what you're talking about. So make sure it's good lighting. If it's very bright outside, find shade, nice even lighting. If you're indoors, find a light source. We have these giant windows behind me. It acts as a giant softbox, and then white walls on this side. So it adds like sort of a nice contrast, and everything's even and the background's very lit. 2, pay attention to your background. Try to avoid busy or cluttered backgrounds unless it's intentional. The fact that you see all these people in the background helps the point I'm trying to make of this video, so that's why I'm shooting like this. But typically I would shoot in a corner or something where there's not a lot of distractions going on, or if I'm shooting in my home, like I would conduct my environment with lighting and props in a way that shows my brand and shows my personality and helps me tell my story. You have to think deliberately about these things. Number 3, find the quietest spot if possible. Something like loud music or extremely loud talking in the background can make or break your video. There's so many times where I shot videos and then I go in the editing room and something like a copyrighted song is playing in the background, which will flag your video, or even just like if you're editing, every time you cut, the song skips because you have music in the background. It's little things like that. Now, depending on what you're at, you can't always control the background, but there's some gear that you can use that can help mitigate that. What I prefer is something like a lavalier mic. Like this guy, this little piece of gear is a magic bullet when it comes to audio. I kid you not, it saved me on so many shoots. Not only does it have noise canceling, which means if you're in a loud environment, it makes it so that way you can barely tell. But it also has something called internal recording, meaning it will record straight to this device. You don't have to even plug it into a camera or an iPhone. It's super handy when making videos on the fly. And it has something called 32-bit float audio, which is just a fancy term that means when you are editing it, if it ever gets too loud, you can edit it to where it's quieter, or if it's ever too quiet, you can edit it to where it's loud without losing any information. Now, this video isn't sponsored, but I highly suggest getting one of these. By the way, any gear that I recommend is going to be linked in the description below, so click the link and check it out. Now, you also want to speak loud and slower if you have to. Make sure your runs don't run together, and try not to do anything like ums and ahs. It'll drive you insane when trying to cut out all the ums in editing later. Now, if you don't naturally have a loud voice or you're too shy to actually project yourself, that's okay. You don't have to, but I would highly suggest working on your vocal projection, especially if you have to talk over loud environments. What's going on here? Nick David, mid-editing here. If you enjoy this content, you're getting a lot of value, please go ahead and subscribe because it helps me bring more content to you. And if you want me to make a video on something specific, leave it in the comment section below. I read every single comment, guys. And if I like it, then I might make a video custom tailored for you. With that being said, let's get back into the video. Now let's get into, unfortunately, one of the most annoying things about filming in public, which is a necessary thing, I guess, but it is security. Now at some point, if you're filming in a public space like a mall or a private business, you might get somebody to walk up to you asking you if you have permission to film there. And 9 times out of 10, you don't. Now this can happen anywhere, even the places you think that you're able to film, like Disney. I didn't know this, but you're not even allowed to have a tripod, and I don't think they allowed selfie sticks. Every place's rules are different, so I would suggest being aware of those before you start. Sometimes security is really nice about it, and they let you film whatever you need to film, and then they walk away, or they walk up to you really nicely. And then sometimes they're kind of mean, and then they come up to you right away and just demand that you aren't able to film there. Just don't get mad at them, they're just doing their job, so it's just best to avoid the situation entirely. Now, if you are shooting stuff on your phone, you're typically fine. Most people do shoot stuff on their phone. If you have a bigger camera like a DSLR or a tripod, this is where you're gonna run into more issues because it's considered a professional setup. So if you're really not sure, it's just best to use a phone. Make sure you have space on that phone and it's fully charged before you guys shooting. I try to avoid shooting at high traffic areas like entrances that will block or obscure traffic, where right under a camera, where a security office can send a security guard straight to you, they know exactly where to go, or right in front of you of a security person, because that's just like asking to be told not to film there. But again, if somebody does approach you and says you're not allowed to film there, just be cool, don't be disrespectful. It's not worth the stress and it's not worth ruining your day or theirs. Most people are generally nice about that anyway. Okay, let's talk about getting footage fast. This is one thing that'll save you every single time, especially if you have limited space and limited time. That means 2 things. First, make your scripts before you get there. There's nothing worse than getting to a place and trying to figure out what you're gonna shoot on the fly. Just have an outline of what you wanna shoot. Already dealing with having to shoot in public and around people is one thing. You don't wanna be fumbling with your phone and getting nervous and drawing attention to yourself because you're not filming. You just wanna be prepared. Personally, I like a script that's loosely outlined. I don't like the script word for word because I feel like that's unnatural and you come off as robotic. I try to avoid ChatGPT scripts at all costs because people know when you sound like a robot and when you don't. But I do use ChatGPT to outline my videos so that way I at least know my talking points when I'm going. If you're somebody who needs a lot of help and is not good with improv, then maybe a script might be best. But again, try to be as natural as possible with this. Second, get your shot list in mind. Whether it's short form content or long form content, this is very important. Here's a quick shot list you can use for every single video. It makes it very easy. You have your wide shot, your medium shot, close-up shot, your insert shot, and your B-roll. Now, a nice variety of shots makes your videos more interesting rather than just having one camera set in location. You've noticed throughout this video, I always try to change up the angle. That makes a boring video more enjoyable to watch, even if it is straight up talking head. The more you do this, the more you'll get better at doing this on the fly. All right, let's talk about gear. Before I do that, before you leave, make sure you run through a checklist of everything and prep and charge your batteries the night before. Now, here is my gear checklist. I'm shooting this on a Canon R8. It's lightweight and it has a turnout screen so that way I can see myself when I'm shooting. I also have extra battery, so that way I never have to worry about my battery dying on me mid-shoot. You don't have to have a camera like this. You can literally shoot on your iPhone. Nowadays, most modern cameras have really excellent phones, so you can get away with that. Next, you want your tripod. I got this $100 tripod off of Amazon. It's lightweight, compact, and I can use it to travel with me. It's not super heavy. And I got this $20 tripod from Amazon for my phone. And I have my talking points right here, so I can just refer back to it whenever I needed to go on to my next point. And it's really handy if I don't want to bring my camera, I can just make content on my phone using this tripod. Next, the mics, like I mentioned, DJI Mic 2. Trust me, it's worth investing in your audio. It's super important. Rule of thumb, I like to keep my setup as simple as possible, less moving parts, and you're good. And again, that security issue, if they see a whole setup, they might not be as lenient with you. I will link all my gear in the description, so check that out if you want the exact links to what I just mentioned in this video. Now that's everything you need. The only thing left is to actually do it. So you better go do it. That's it for this video. Peace.